Bueno, buenos días. Yo simplemente voy a hacer pequeñas introducciones a todas y cada una de las ponencias que vamos a ir viendo a lo largo del día de hoy. Tenemos mucho que ver, ¿no? Y para empezar, vamos a hablar del nuevo ecosistema que nos estamos encontrando, bueno, ya desde hace años, pero para la siguiente ponencia es importante que repasemos ¿qué es lo que está sucediendo con la comunicación a día de hoy? Todos conocemos, o los que no, lo voy a resumir muy rápido, lo ha comentado Ángels, es la diferencia entre lo que son los medios pagados, es decir, es tan sencillo como sacar la chequera y pagar a unos medios publicitarios que lo que nos permite es exposición, pero que no te va a ayudar probablemente a conseguir ese engagement. Luego están los medios conseguidos, ¿no? Los earned media. Esos medios conseguidos, cualquiera de vosotros que estáis aquí, sois audiencia. Y esa es la audiencia a día de hoy que es muy interesante y que nos permite capitalizar esas audiencias e incluso conseguir unas mayores coberturas, ¿no? Cualquiera de vosotros sois media y ahora veremos ejemplos. Estamos hablando del shared media. Y una cosa que tenemos claro en el mundo de la comunicación, y ya no solo en la comunicación, en la vida en general, es que solo no puedes ganar. Eso está claro, hay que jugar en equipo y para eso tenemos que unirnos con los mejores, ya sean empresas, ya sean personas externas, que aunque no trabajen en compañías en las que cualquiera de vosotros, uniros y pegaros a esas personas que os puedes trasladar un lugar fresco, ¿no? Y luego el último punto son los own media. Eso sí que vosotros tenéis el poder, son vuestros canales propios, son aquellos en los cuales podéis hacer lo que os da la gana, es vuestra página de Facebook, es vuestra página web, es aquella aplicación que estáis lanzando a día de hoy, es esa tecnología la cual vosotros controláis, esos canales, los cuales no dejan de ser un medio de comunicación. ¿Vale? Entonces, dentro de este entorno, vamos a empezar hablando del earned media. No sé si conocéis a este señor, le conocí hace poco en una entrevista, es el señor Carlos Ocelote. Carlos Ocelote gana 600.000 euros al año jugando a videojuegos. Este señor, todos hemos oído hablar de los influencers, hemos oído hablar de los instagramers, de los bloggers, ¿no? ¿Quién no conoce? Yo creo que bloggers somos todos ya, ¿no? Ya se ha quedado obsoleto. Youtubers, es un fenómeno donde todos conocemos al Rubius y los que no, ya os lo digo, es un chico que se graba todos los días haciendo el moñas y también está ganando en torno a casi 1 millón de euros al año, simplemente en retorno publicitario y en contratos con marcas, ¿no? Y ahora surgen los gamers. Los gamers es otro concepto dentro, es otro entorno dentro del mundo de los earned media que lo que nos permite es acercarnos a este tipo de gente para amplificar un mensaje, ¿no? O sea, que tengamos muy en cuenta todos estos locos que parecen que no hacen nada, generan muchísima audiencia, ¿no? Fijaros hasta el punto hasta el que estamos llegando, ¿no? Todos hemos visto ese vídeo maravilloso que ha subido un yankee de un niño llorando, que todos lo hemos visto y que consigue 15 millones de reproducciones. Esas 15 millones de reproducciones no penséis que no tiene un retorno. Como sabéis en YouTube, si tú subes un contenido, de la publicidad que emite YouTube de ese vídeo que tú has subido, ellos te dan aproximadamente un porcentaje entre un 20 y un 30% de lo que consiguen ellos de publicidad. Y así la gente hace mucho dinero. Y están surgiendo startups, que me parece maravilloso, en los cuales han hecho un algoritmo que detectan que si yo mañana subo un vídeo de mi hijo haciendo una monería y ellos detectan que empieza a tener un ritmo de crecimiento importante con ese algoritmo, me llaman, me compran los derechos del vídeo de mi hijo y con todo el retorno publicitario se lo quedan ellos. O sea, para que veáis que hay una industria detrás de todo esto y que a día de hoy los contenidos se pueden generar. Y eso es lo que llamamos los medios conseguidos. Si hablamos del own media, aquí es cuando todos nos relajamos porque parece, es verdad, que el mundo digital ha venido y es la panacea y es lo que realmente dirige nuestras vidas, y en parte sí, pero fijaros con estos datos. Dentro del estudio hicimos hace poquito con The Cocktail Analysis, ¿no? Hablando del sexto observatorio de las redes sociales, te dice vías de contacto para informarte sobre productos y servicios. ¿Cuál es el primero de todos? La tienda física. No la descuidéis. Si tenéis tiendas físicas, es súper importante a la hora de crecer o informar de sus productos y potenciar las ventas. Estamos hablando de la página web, la defenestrada página web, que parece que ya no sirve para nada. Es súper importante que esa página web sea responsive, sea adaptativa a todos los diferentes canales y dedicarle mucho cariño, porque es ahí donde se está informando a la gente. El email marketing, que se lo quiere cargar todo el mundo, todavía sigue dando bastante guerra. ¿Y veis dónde están las redes sociales? Las redes sociales es el 15%. Con lo cual, con todo esto lo que estamos viendo es que el uso de las redes sociales, en realidad, y este estudio lo certifica y no sé si estaréis de acuerdo, donde cobran mucha importancia es en el camino de vuelta. Una vez que hemos comprado ese producto o ese servicio, es ahí donde entran en juego las redes sociales. Y si no, fijaros esos datos. Para yo poder comparar unos productos, solo lo usa el 10%, para buscar información el 14%, para comentar la experiencia el 27%. Es decir, ya he comprado, ya utilizo mis canales, los míos propios, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, el que sea, para poder o denunciar o aplaudir esa experiencia en ese servicio. Y por desgracia o por suerte, si queréis verlo así, para quejarse. Quejarse, la verdad que Twitter ha sido el medio donde más se focalizan esas quejas, ¿no? Con lo cual lo que estamos diciendo, los medios sociales o esos medios ganados es esos medios propios, mucho cuidado con ellos si tengamos en cuenta realmente para qué nos están ayudando a día de hoy. Y lo que sí que tenemos claro es que dentro del social media marketing ahora hay una tendencia que que de hecho hablamos en el Tech and Trends, la última ponencia que dimos aquí, que es sobre el real-time marketing. Es decir, este contenido que estamos volcando aquí ahora mismo, cuando lleguéis a casa, probablemente os diría que ya ha pasado de moda, ¿no? Es algo, vivimos en una sociedad muy rápida y por eso surgen procesos, que es el real-time marketing. Real-time marketing es una estructura de trabajo en la cual establecéis un grupo de personas, suceden cosas, ahora mismo están sucediendo cosas que podéis volcar en Twitter o que se sale, por ejemplo, en el periódico, y vosotros tomáis una reacción como marca en cosa de 3 horas a una situación que está sucediendo en tiempo real. Eso es lo que están abrazando a día de hoy los consumidores y lo que quieren los consumidores, tiempo real, ¿vale? Y con todo esto, como os decía, no podemos ganar solos, y para ganar solos hay que unirse con los mejores, con gente que te pueda ayudar. Es el caso, de hecho, tenemos la suerte de tener aquí a Frederic, que Frederic ha liderado esta negociación de todo el Grupo Havas con Universal Music Group. Universal Music Group, como líder de contenidos musicales en el mundo, han cogido y os generan una cantidad de data ingente. Esa cantidad de data ingente y del uso y del consumo de esa música genera una información que nosotros podemos explotar a la hora de establecer contenidos publicitarios. Con lo cual, este tipo de alianzas, que veremos unas cuantas a lo largo de la ponencia, son las que ayudan a que unirte con gente externa te permita crecer. Sin más, mientras vamos colocando la siguiente ponencia, os quería presentar a Frederic. Frederic Josue, el hombre avión, como bien decía Ángels, la verdad es que me estresa tu agenda, no lo sé, me decía que iba a estar en Israel mañana, luego en Los Ángeles, pero bueno, darte las gracias por haber dejado caer tu avión, ayer en Madrid y hoy en Barcelona. Es nuestro Global Executive Advisor a nivel worldwide de Arena y de Havas Media. La verdad es que tiene un currículum impresionante, colabora y ayuda y es asesor personal del ministro de Educación, corrígeme, de Broadcasting, ¿no?, de Francia, con lo cual está muy vinculado con la educación, y viene a hablarnos de lo que es el enfoque del marketing orgánico, o el organic approach, lo cual, bueno, pues él habla en inglés perfecto, nos lo va a decir, nos va a hablar muy despacito. Os pido un muy fuerte aplauso, de verdad, Frederic, muchísimas gracias por haber venido hoy.
Hello, hola, hola. Hello, thank you very much for having me here. So, exactly who I am, I will tell you. I'm not that person. I'm not that. No. So yes, I'm the advisor to Havas Group, to the executive from Havas. I deal with entertainment industries, but I deal mostly with communication, etc. So it gives me the opportunity to be an advisor to the French Ministry of Education, but also as I created 3 labs, one in Los Angeles, one in Seoul, and one in Tel Aviv, and I'm based in Paris, so I do almost the same thing in Paris. This lab is called 18, and it's 18 points all connected. What do we do in those cities? So for me, these 3 cities are major cultural, academic, and innovational cities, okay, in the world. And so my mom said, why don't you go to Rio? Because I'm Brasileño. So I said, yeah, I have to choose. I have a small budget. I picked the 3, in my point of view, most cultural, innovational, and academic cities. There, I have a small lab, very small facility where I connect with university, because I believe that innovation comes from 2 things. Openness. It comes from M&A, mergers and acquisition, what you have outside, startups, small enterprises that you help, you greenhouse and you bring inside the company so that everybody inside your company understands what innovation is, and then you can propose this innovation to your clients. And the second inflow of innovation are the academics. If you don't work with universities, yesterday we have a splendid person called Enrique Danz, really amazing. I wish I would not pass after him, that's all. So innovation comes from, I would say, from the street, startups and universities. And in Seoul, Agnès Yoon told us about the organic approach. Organic marketing, it's back from the 70s, back from the 80s. I mean, everything that we speak today are mostly old stuff, but thanks to digital, everything is renewed. And organic approaches thanks to digital and the internet, has a phenomenal impact on what we do on everyday basis. I wish you will forget the word digital, because digital hides what I'm going to talk about today, which is the culture of network, the culture of the organic approaches with it, organic theory, and leads to organic marketing. So we are living in a knowledge economy. You've all seen this when you were in your university, when you were a student. You had the decrease of the primary economy, which was oil mining and agriculture. You've seen the decrease of the secondary activities, which were manufacturing, which makes our politicians say that we are in a post-industrial economy. And thanks maybe to 3D printing, we will be industrialized in a new way. And the rows of tertiary activities, which were a little bit loaded by knowledge and information. And what is really interesting is the quaternary activities. And these quaternary activities is fully loaded by information and by knowledge. It all started in the 50s. What started in the 50s? Entertainment started in the early 20s, in 1905. But in 1950s, big budget movies started in Los Angeles and what is called the Mecca of content. But also computer science was born. It was born at the MIT with the TMRC, Tech Model Railroad Club. You should read a lot about the Tech Model Railroad Club. It's the very beginning of computer science. So everything related to these quaternary activities are jobs within entertainment, computer science, consultancy, education, research and development. And when you see the rise for till 22 of the new jobs, I mean, if you have to tell your kid to do some kind of university, please tell him to do science and technology, management, and also everything's related to art. Because arts, media, and entertainment, everything related to information is really, really important. And it makes the economy. And politicians and family understood this. When they invest in educational reform, they tell the people that it's really massive in terms of additional per capita GDP. When you get 90, when you retire, it's still 10,000 euro more for the state, in terms of taxes, etc. Investing in education brings a lot to the countries. Many countries understood it. Look at Abu Dhabi, the Emirates. They invested a lot in museum. They invested a lot in university with La Sorbonne. They invested a lot in convention centers. They invested a lot in smart cities. Smart cities, those new kind of interactive cities. And all this produces a lot of content and is all based on knowledge. And the VCs, the venture capitalists, Ontario is the Silicon Valley of education, education-based technologies and startup. They invested a lot in startup, and mostly in what we can call MOOCs, multi-online open classes. If you are at work and you want to learn about whatever, you go online, you just have to log in and pay sometimes, but sometimes you don't have to pay, and you are taught something in your house, I mean in the subway, every place where you are. So there's massive investment in the information economy and knowledge economy. And this produces, no doubt, maximum information, maximum data. If you look at this chart from 2010 till 2015, online content, everything considered, grew 9 times in 5 years. I mean, everything's related on documents, pictures, video, tweets, everything. It reaches 8 zettabytes. So I think that nobody, even me in the room, knows what 8 zettabyte is, but it's a lot of zeros after the 1. 2 zettabytes, it's the amount of broadcast TV of the whole world for 1 year. 2 zettabytes. 1 zettabyte, it would be everybody around the planet speaking recorded during 1 year. So just to understand that it's massive. Only 5% of this is paid. The rest is free or pirated. Okay? So even on this, we have to work. What's my point? Is that data, information, video, content, knowledge is totally disseminated. It's everywhere, and it's becoming a commodity. What is a commodity? It's like gas, water, electricity. It's a good that you have on the market and that you can buy. It's not a rare resource. It's not scarce anymore. Everybody can have the data he wants. Your competitor, even us at Havas, if we say we have that kind of data for me, maybe our competitor will have it, and that's not important. It's what you do with the data that is important. It's the knowledge behind the data that you provide that is important. And you all seen all of this. Our kids, they tweet a lot, they make maximum vines, etc., etc. And Art Warrior, which is the Twitter just here that I noticed yesterday, tweeted a lot and tweets a lot during this Innoweek. So what are the outcomes at that point? The principal outcome is that there's no more scarce resources. I mean, everything is in the network. You can have almost everything if you pay. You can have almost everything. So information, creativity, strategy is no more, in my point of view, my execs may not consider that this is true, is no more as a rare resources. And many smart people in the economy know how to take advantage of this. This economy leads to disintermediation and makes that producers in the economy reach directly the end users throughout a connection platform. And this platform helps them understand the information and take advantage of this information. Take an example. Uber. They know that you are in some place and that you want things to geolocalization. Geolocalization, it's an information that is free, okay, or available. They know where you are and they know that you want a taxi, Uber. They have a connection platform, which is on the mobile, that makes the connection, the market connection, and they make money out of it. Airbnb, it's the same. Airbnb, they know that you have a house, that yesterday you decided to go to New York, and then in Los Angeles you will live for the weekend your apartment. And they have all that massive information, and this information is free, and they created a platform so that they can benefit from this information. We have a fantastic company at Havas, which is called MFG Lab. They do algorithm design. Last year, we were in the Silicon Valley with one client. We were about to propose to this client an algorithm. It was Warner Studio. And then we met a person that owns Kaggle, K-A-J-J-L-E. Kaggle. What is Kaggle? Kaggle, it's a platform where brands or enterprises put briefs. I want to know how can I better fly with my plane within the sky, etc. I need an algorithm for that. So you put the algorithm and you put a $25,000 price for it. Kaggle, the platform, they disseminate the information on the network, and you have 5,000 people that will respond to this. From my kids that already do 13 years old, he does coding, a student in university, a professional. Everybody can go in the platform. Every creative person, mathematician, whatever, can go on the platform and answer to this. And even in advertising, we have this issue. So this makes me say that creativity is not a scarce resource anymore. Strategy maybe, but creativity is not anymore. They know, a lot of people know how to benefit from this information and know how to connect to this information and take advantage and make money out of it. Will we know? That's the question. So for us, consultants that help agents, when I say agent, an agent can be a brand, a CMO, it can be a student, it can be a broadcaster, it can be your employee when you're a manager. How do you tell the story? I mean, how do you adapt your consultancy within this organic network, what is called an organic network? I will define it. How do you help them navigate within this information and create the platform to benefit from this all information? We become an architects of platform to help them benefit from it. And that's what I'm going to explain to you. What is an organic network? If we take it very basically, I mean, organic network, it's what we have in our brain. Neurons and synapses. Neurons that have the information and transmit it with electricity to other neurons. And this leads to action. Okay? It's very basic. We all learn this in school, even if we have almost forgotten it. What is this? I'm requesting an answer. What is this? Don't be afraid to say nonsense. One person, please.
The digital universe.
This is it. You know, good consultancy at Havas. This is internet. This is the real map of the worldwide internet. This is a real picture. And what do you see here? You see exactly this. You see nodes, big nodes of acceleration or brakes. Okay? A blogger that knows 10,000 persons, which is highly a thought leader, is a node of acceleration. And you see connections. This is the web. And what you see here is Brian Solis, conversation prism. It's the same thing. You have lots of nodes which are containers of content, and you have links. And all this connects people to people, people to media, people to containers of content, all of them being also interconnected. So this is an organic network. So when you speak about digital, you forget all this. You forget that the internet is a culture of interconnection and interconnection of people. And this is key because for students, for managers, for brands, if you don't get this, I mean, you can't take benefit of the information. And what's really important is that all this story takes place there on the mobile. 17% this year. Next year, 20% of the web traffic will be on the mobile. On mobility, every place. So what's the context? I said we are supposed to help you build context. We are new architects of context. This was the physical context that we all know, okay? We were in front of TV, we were talking, etc. We were having, during the advertising, I should not say that, a drink, etc. This is the new context. It's evaluating. So our kids, I have 3 boys, they all go and, even if we watch TV, they play on their mobile, on their iPad, and we still watch TV. If we take the example of cinema, in the cinema you can't talk. You can talk, but it's quite messy to do so. But so you can't speak. The only place where you can speak is outside, but you can speak to your friend, to your wife, to your boyfriend, etc. You cannot speak to the other people because you are not connected to them. Okay? So this evaluates also. It evaluates in a bad way. So people start tweeting in the cinema, going to see which place is the movie, etc. This is quite messy. Let's see what's the new context. That's why I tell you, context, organic marketing, it's pretty old. But nowadays, it's taking a new form. It's transformed, its power. Augmented place, like augmented reality. The context now, it's both digital and analog. It could be also in real life. I'm on Facebook. I see a trailer for a movie. We're still in the cinema imagery. So this trailer has been done by a production company. It's on YouTube, but I see it on my Facebook because one of my friends just posted it. Okay, what do? I watch the trailer. I think it's pretty cool. So I put it on my wall. And I tweet it. How do I tweet it? Because the container of content that is Facebook provides, you can see it, but you know it because you're on Facebook, provides sharing tools. Half of the connections on YouTube are generated by sharing tools. Okay, half of the traffic on YouTube. So what did I do? I shared this on my wall. And what did I do? I created a context. It's a digital context where all my friends are now chatting and discussing about the movie. I created some place which is somehow virtual and digital where people are talking. But what do I see? This is one context. What's interesting is that many other contexts will be created and they will all be interconnected within an organic one. What I see is that when I read the commentaries that are posted by my friend, that they have posted Instagram pictures, still photographies from the production company. So there's a lot of Instagram pictures that I can see. And all around them, people are talking. I saw this movie, it was pretty cool, etc. And those same person, they tweet about the movie they've seen, creating a third context. And what they say, they give spoilers. Spoilers that tell you the story of the movie. So I find it pretty cool. This is the fourth context. But at that time, I say, I have to go to the cinema, I have to go and see the movie. So I go and see the movie, and this becomes analog. On my ticket, I have a QR code. I flash the QR code, and it tells me, do a Vine. Tell us the experience of the movie. So I do a Vine, and I say, this movie is great. I post it on the website of the production company, where a lot of people are talking and telling what they feel about this movie. So as you see, there is an augmented context. And what we should do and deliver are construction of content. We have to organize, not conversation, narration of what we have to say. We have to organize interactions. So the context is the space of the network, created by the network, which is generated by individuals sharing content and information. What's the impact on education? It's really key, and that's what I'm not the only one. We tell in France to the Ministry of Education. The teacher is not anymore someone that holds knowledge, no more. And it's really tough when you say that to a teacher. The teacher has the information scattered all around the internet, all around the world, on every historical event. So he's here to pass the knowledge. He's really here to create the interactions between the pupils, between the students, and all this information, all this content that is gathered on the internet. And that's what he has to create. What is this? Same stupid question, same stupid answer. You have a lot of dates. You have a lot of people. 1940, it was important for France. 1942, it was important for the American. 1944, it was the beginning of the end of the war. When I was at school, I've been told one story, that France was great during the war. Now we tell the kid that somehow France has a little bit collaborated with the Nazis. So it's completely messy. It's completely organic. There's a lot of information, a lot of retainer. You can go on Wikipedia, you can go and see a documentary on YouTube. You can have real-life documents, organic documents. How do you deal with this when you're a kid? On the 9th of January, we've been attacked in France by terrorists. 200 young students at school didn't respect the minute of silence. So the Ministry of Education tried to understand it. Why? They said it's related to the parents. It's an issue of parents' education. No. It was related to the fact that those kids didn't understand what was said on the internet. They didn't have the ability to understand, to do fact-checking. They were not educated to media. That was the issue. So the learner then has to trigger the creation of context by the student. And each time one student goes from one media to the other, one container to the other, then the building of knowledge will rise. It's really difficult to make this understand to teachers because they think they hold the knowledge, which is pretty cool. But time changes. What is interesting is that, and it's interesting for the rest of us also, is that when you do this, but the Ministry of Education doesn't do this yet, you have to learn about the usage, the attitudes of the students when they go from one media to the other media, which is called third-party data. Third-party data in a privacy world, it's not pretty cool. Broadcasters, same stuff. Apocalypse, it's still on the Second World War. It's a 6 times 52 minutes documentary, fantastic documentary on the Second World War. But it was only on TV. 2 hours were shot per 52 minutes. So it means that they've thrown to the trash 1 hour and 8 minutes. It was only on TV. This means that in France, we still do not understand, the broadcasters, and you can see it in the state, except from AMC. yesterday we had, and he's maybe in the room. They do fantastic transmedia storytelling stories. But we don't understand that people don't watch TV anymore. I mean, and when you go down to the millennials, they don't watch TV anymore. And they've never seen TV that much, but on other platforms, especially on the mobile. I signed a TV show for Canal Plus last week, and it will be 10 times 8 minutes on the mobile, fully mobile, and they paid 300,000 euro for it. TV has to be on TV, but it has to be on the other platform. And this we do not understand, that people, when they watch TV, they do other things. In France, 70% of the people that watch TV do multitasking. More than 50% is not related to the show, to what they see, to what they watch. So they tweet, they share with friends, they send SMS, they go on the website of the TV production to have more information, they go on Wikipedia, they do a lot of stuff. And if you don't connect the show to this, you lose people. Pretty Little Liars, one of the most tweeted shows ever. The mid-season, season 3 finale represented more than 52% of the tweets on Twitter, of the traffic on Twitter. And 70% of the people that tweet, they tweet live. So don't look at the tweets when you watch a show, because it's the greatest spoiler of the TV shows. If you see Breaking Bad, per episode, 500,000 tweets. Okay? So if you don't organize this, if you don't give the content to the people that watch your show, you lose them. Definitely. It's the same for brand. If you don't give them the opportunity to talk about you, and you can give the opportunity, you give the picture, you give the knowledge, you give the information, you lose them. 22,000 tweets per minute. It's less than Pretty Little Liars, but it's a lot. And these shows are not seen by a lot of people. These are small shows. High social impact, but very few people watch them. So you understood it. What we have to do is help the studios, and this will be one of our business tomorrow. Help the studio build, and I know that David Puyo here does this fantastically for Arena. We have to construct and build transmedia storytelling stories. What is a transmedia story? It's a story that strengthens the experience from media to media and engages the audience. You have to be present on all the medias. What's the impact on the manager? And I will take my example with my manager in Los Angeles. My baby was my lab, but I couldn't raise it because I can't be in Los Angeles. I can't be in Seoul, I can be in Tel Aviv every time, even if I spend my time in planes. I manage him like I did my logo and like I did my presentation. And if you want to engage, I think, 30% of my time at Havas is in the HR also. If you want to engage with millennials, I think you have to proceed like this. My story in Los Angeles and with my lab was, I want to interconnect media, cultural industries, I mean art. You were saying that marketing was the art of technology, something like this. Art is really important. I mean, the artists are the most sensitive person. Media, content, technology, and data science. These were my 4 pillars. And I told him, I know some folks in Los Angeles. I know Jonathan Taplin from USC. I know Denise Mann, which is the queen of transmedia. Both fantastic university. I sponsored this university. I knew Tube Filter, which is a media, street media. I mean, it's not a huge media. It's a media with high credibility. I knew 4 startups, 4 that, in my point of view, are fantastic startups. We can talk about them after. In that 4 pillars, I knew a couple of artists. David Gittlis from HK Corp, he does 30% of the music industry video clips. Maker Studio, Canal Plus, producers. And as I knew that he might have issues with his visa, I connected him with the consulate. I had a friend there. I gave him the money for an office, and I gave him the money to play. If you want to engage with millennial, you have to make them play. I told him, now you have to connect everything, and you will tell me the story. You will tell me, I believe that we can make something out of these nodes, out of this media, but I don't know what's the story. And I've told the story to my boss last week, and we've been there 2 years. And it took me 1 or 2 years to tell the story. The story is very basic. We have to provide data-driven transmedia architecture to our clients, to the studio, to everybody. We have to narrate through all this mess of media a story, engaging people. He told me this story. So this is based on trust. I tell him, you play, then you tell me the story. The only thing I didn't want it is never complain, never explain. When you trust someone, when you trust, and it's really important for millennial, don't ask him to explain. I can't explain clearly what I believe. I couldn't explain to my boss the story. It took me 2 years. I had it in mind, but I couldn't express it clearly. They go on, go on, go on. Advance. I trust you. I gave you the nodes. I gave you the opportunity to interconnect everything. And that's what they say in the Silicon Valley. Go on, move on, and if you fail, just say, oops, I'm sorry. But carry on. I mean, it's the project that is not good, it's not the person. Okay? I know that you will tell me another good story with what I believe. All the notes from my babies are good. Maybe the story we are telling is not good. The interconnection that we are creating is not good. For brands, you've understood my theory. It's the same thing. We had a lot of media, we have to interconnect. But how do we interconnect this? Telling a story. How do we tell a story? We have the web, we have the mobile, we have the social, we have the wearables. I understood that they were the nearables yesterday. And we have everything that's related to analog. Don't forget that we still live and we still are analog people. We still are physical people. Don't be too much unfazed by technology. We listen to everything. We listen to what's being said through semantic analysis. We listen to how people use these media. We create a profile per person, okay? And then we try to interact with this person through this media. And we found in Paris a startup that does this for us, and which is called Flamefy. Every collected data helps us tell a different story per user, okay? And this is possible. How is this possible? Thanks to this, an ideation platform. You've all read the books that if you here go page 225, you read this, go to page 75. Huh? The story where you are the hero. This is exactly the same. You tell the story with what-if scenario. I'm here with this context because I analyze the data from where I am. If I go on Twitter, what will happen? What-if scenario. This is a data-driven storytelling platform. An ideation platform because it helps you generate ideas and what-if scenarios. So we have engagement models. If I want to sell stuff or create traffic in my shop, this will be the engagement model at the end. So the platform will generate connections with media with the aim to make people go to your shop. This is a platform that helps us navigate the medias and tell a different story. That's why I say stop conversation, begin narrating, because the narration is going from one point to the other, coming back then with a purpose, with a politic, with an issue. If we try to sum up this, and sorry, but I will read, the consumer, in my point of view, is like the pupil, I mean the student, the spectator or the employee. He is a developer. Code is really important. Yesterday we were talking about code. Code is the constitution. I mean, code is poetry. He's a developer who decodes a partition and follows the narrative path. We are supposed to help them create this narrative path. So this path becomes richer from one node to the next, from one container to the next, from one media to the next. And he has the ability to engage people, because people, whether they be student, spectator, whatever, even consumer, they are playing with your story. They are going from one media to the other, because you make them go from one media to the other. So what would be my quick recommendation, and there could be lots of others, but I tried to be synthetic. Take the internet as an omni-channel network. Don't ever speak anymore about digital. I don't like this word. Tell brand stories from one media to the other. Feel free to jump and to come back and to use each media for what it can deliver in terms of storytelling, okay? Don't use only Facebook. Use what-if scenario to enhance, give more power to the narration of your, what will happen if, what will happen if, jump, play, create interaction and gaming opportunities. It's important even in HR. Get to know the people through data so that you tell a different story to each person, okay? That's the end. Let people have their own story and brand experience. This means that you have to provide them the content, the information, the knowledge, so that they can play with you. You being whatever you are, a teacher, a broadcaster, CMO, whatever. Thank you.